Oh, we are live, everybody. All right. All right. Let's get to it, guys. All right. How we doing, everybody? Just checking the stream out real quickie. Everybody? Okay. Everything looks good. Let me make sure Rumble looks good. Okay. Very good, very good. All right, everybody. How we doing tonight? It's your boy, Joe. Coming at you with the late night Hack the Box stream. Just check out one more. Just make sure Twitch is up. And they're looking good. And they're looking too good. Let me see. Too good. Okay. All right, everybody. I am live. Coming at you. All right, everybody. It's your boy, Joe. Coming at you in 15 different languages. And in 25. Let me get rid of these two. I'll leave Rumble open for the Rumble rants. If there's any Rumble rants that come through, let me just throw you over here. Thank you, Rumblers. So I can watch that. All right. Just open up the chat here. All right. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? I'm pretty sure you can. How we doing tonight? Again, it's your boy, Joe. Thank you guys for joining me live again today. I know we streamed earlier. We had a little fun getting used to the new stream setup that I'm trying to establish here. Hey guys, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, guys. If you guys want to, keep this going, I'm gonna give this, a whole new. I'm gonna put whole new effort into blasting out new content, guys. I've been starting to make new daily content. I've been making new news content. I've been reading got some good Bible content coming up, guys. Got some other book reading content soon to be coming up too, guys. So I got a whole bunch of ideas and stuff like that coming up. But on to tonight's stream, guys. Tonight, again, it's late night Hack the Box stream, guys. Trying something, learning. This is part of the. Let me just make sure I click on that. I got a little warm earlier. So as I've been taking information technology courses, a lot of the courses have been surrounding, cybersecurity and what that means, and how to protect devices and stuff like that. I've been making some cool infographics. There has been some opportunities for some collab stuff, but doing stuff on online university stuff, nothing ever works out with with doing collab stuff like that. So that's been a disappointment. But it has been sparking some new interest with where I want to go with my education wise. So again, this is just part of the journey as it had began about 2 years ago now when I never laid my hands on a computer before. And now I'm at the point where, I want to start learning how to hack a computer. So ethically hack a computer. I want to be part of the good team guys. I want to be part of helping. I want to be part of the solution, guys, not part of the problem. There's a big problem out there these days with information being suppressed, and it's not right. People are being hurt by what people can do online these days and stuff like that. Again, it's not right. And I want to be part of the team that helps with that in some way. If I learn how to do it, I learn how to do it. So that's the journey, guys. That's the journey as it began 2 years ago. It's just becoming more defined and narrowing in its focus. But that's all journeys are, guys. So without all that too much being said, let's get on to what we're doing here. All right. So I streamed probably, I don't know, it was probably about a week ago. I had first got established on HacktheBox and stuff like that, which seems to be is going to be a neat platform for me to learn, on and be able to, excuse me, possibly help some of you guys out there learn and maybe walk through the process and stuff like that. I know this is just one platform itself. I do other things as two guys. I do a lot of other virtualization network stuff and stuff like that. So this is just one part of the puzzle, guys. Let's get to it. Make sure I am watching chats, guys. So make sure you guys are, sending in your chats if you have a question. I am watching Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. This is all the ones I'm streaming on right now. So I have everybody's chat up. As for resources, guys, too, we're going to be making sure we're using good solid resources as we're walking through our journey here. So what I have opened up here, so this right here, again, I am sourcing O'Reilly Media. It's a good O'Reilly Media. I feel is a very, very strong resource for all you guys, guys, girls out there, and I guess anything in between these days. That's neither story for here or there for right now. That is interested in making, in learning, all things information technology and all things that have to do with the internet. O'Reilly Media. There's other sources too, like Pearson and there's a couple other ones, but I really think O'Reilly's one of the better ones. They have a lot of benefits that come with with their subscriptions. What we got open up here is the 4th edition of the Certified Ethical Hacker Cert Guide. Okay, this is written by Michael, Greg, and Omar Santos. Okay, I've taken a lot of classes with Omar Santos. I actually had couple classes this week, and I have a couple classes coming up with Omar on some really awesome stuff with labs, creating labs and stuff like that. I got to go back into those. I got to go back into those live courses and really hammering all the information that I've gathered from all of Omar's classes and stuff like that. Omar's just one of those real solid. I'll pull up his thingy real quick so you guys can check out. So this is Omar. Whatever. So this is Omar right here, Omar Santos. If you get a little picture of him, I believe I follow him on Twitter. But Omar is super informative on so Omar right here. Let me highlight his his beautiful face. You can see his beautiful face right there. Oh, I'm Omar. Um, he works directly with Cisco. He's pretty high up there on the Cisco food chain. He's an expert, complete expert, at least in my opinion, when it comes to all thing informational technology. Uh, at least from what he describes, he's super active within the community. Uh, so again, for me being from the outside, just dipping my toes in, I look at somebody like Omar as a great source. If there is a source that I should be looking towards to educate myself further in. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to be looking towards Omar Santos for education here, since I don't know nothing. Gonna be humble, eating some humble pie. So we're going to open up with chapter 1, and just like I did with the Cisco stuff, we have to go back to the Cisco stuff too, guys, because again, I did fail that. That was a disappointment for me. That was a disappointment for me when I did fail that. That was a little kick in the teeth. $300 later, but that's on me. I should have studied better. And we'll get there again. Do I have the money for it right now? No, I do not. I'm running out of funds just as we're speaking here. But again, I'm just trying to make an effort to do what I can to see again if I can make this something. So again, let's make it work, guys. All right. So let's get into what we got here. Take a sip of my seltzer water. The wife kicked me off the beer tonight. I was sneaking beer tonight, guys. Had some beer left over from Easter, and the only time I ever get to drink beer is when the old father-in-law, me and the father-in-law get together. So I was able to sneaky some beers today. Not like I ever sneak beers. I don't have to sneak beers. I don't ever drink. But it was nice to have some nice cold beers today. So I am not drinking any more beers. I'm drinking seltzer water now. The wife kicked me off. All right. So, chapter 1, an introduction to ethical hacking. This chapter covers the following topics. Now, we're going to be taking notes as we go along. I have GitHub open up here. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is as we're going along, if I see anything that's noteworthy, we'll make a Git gist out of it. If you guys ain't familiar with Git gist, ask a question about that, and I can just give you a quick breakdown of what a Git gist is. Git gist is just a simple it's just a simple page document that I could share via Git. I believe I could share pictures and stuff. I could put pictures and stuff like that into a gist, and it's just an easier way for me to be able to share things within the community. That because I use Git for a lot of my programming stuff when I make JavaScript programs, Python programs, and whatnot. So it's just easier for me to just, instead of trying to have 1,000,001 note-taking programs taking notes, might as well just use Git to keep everything nice and neat in Git. And again, I can share it with you guys. I can make it public, and you guys can take a look at it and share it and do whatever else you guys want with it. If it's worth of taking notes. So again, that's kind of the plan here. For this series, I have our handy dandy pen ready to go. Hello, my name is Joe. Ooh, I know he can't write, but he tries. Enough of that. All right. So let's get right into here. So we have chapter 1, introduction into ethical hacking. This chapter covers the following topics: security fundamentals. You need to understand the security triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, so that's the security triad. All right, so maybe we should highlight the security triad. You know, all right, because it forms the basis of which all security is built. So that's maybe something important. So maybe we'll look up some of those terminologies later if we get some time. Not gonna be streaming too long tonight, but enough to at least make something out of it. So we got security testing. It's important to realize that ethical hackers differ from hackers in that ethical hackers perform activities only after obtaining written permission from client. Different that different types of tests can be performed. So, difference between an ethical hacker and an actual hacker. One asks for permission. Obviously, the other one doesn't. So, a lot of the activities are going to be the same. A lot of the scripts, a lot of the programs we're going to be running and stuff like that are going to be the same as a unethical hacker. But what we're doing is we're trying to learn what they know. That way we can make our defenses that much better. That's the purpose of what we're trying to do here. Good. So, hackers and crackers. Ooh, I like those. Hackers and crackers. Ooh, I don't know if I like that word too much. I won't take offense to it, though. Descriptions. Hackers can be known by many names. You should know these and what motives various types of hacking attacks. Okay, ethical hackers. Ethical hackers perform security tests to strengthen the organizations from which they work. You need to know the standards by which they work to perform their jobs ethically and efficiently. So there we go. So that's a couple key words right there. Ethical hackers perform security tests to. So we have the mission to strengthen the organizations for which they work. You don't obviously have to work for these organizations. You can be subcontract to these organizations, but it's in a ethical manner that you're trying to exploit these weaknesses, not for your own benefit, but for the benefit of building a defense for it. So then we have cyber kill chain. Ethical hackers can use this cyber kill chain to model what is that word? Instructions on a computer network to determine fixed points to block the attackers. Ooh, cyber kill chain. There we go. So we get some blocking. Looks like a defense thing. Test plans, keeping it legal. Test plans and deliverables usually include reports and data that detail all types of vulnerables discovered. So that was something Omar was talking about with taking, making sure they, when, again, I got to go back through all his stuff, but a lot of it is the reason you're doing these things is to have a complete breakdown of what you did to get to that vulnerability. That way it can be reversed and then protected. So you need to have some kind of reporting, some kind of ability to capture what you're doing. Test plans, we read that. Ethical and legality. I think I said that right. Knowledge of the legal environment is critical because you must ensure and maintain proper legal standing. In the United States, federal laws 18 U.S. Code Section 1029 and 1030 are two such laws. So we have some fundamental laws that we have to make sure that we're abiding by. So we have some federal laws 18 U.S. Code Section 1029 and 1030. So we do already have some note-taking stuff here. Let me grab a sippy of my water. Sippy of my water. All right. I'll do this. Let me know pads. All right, so we have the no stop it. Go away. Go away. So we have the security triad. Should we highlight that? Yeah. And then let's go down here. Crackers. Hacker crackers. Kilt chains. Tucker. Taking some notes, guys. Taking some notes. All right, so we got that, and one more. Let's make sure we grab this right here too. All right, so we got a couple notes real quick. We got 1 through 3, security triad, confidentiality, integrity, availability, cyber kill chain, fixed position to point to block the attacker. Again, we'll elaborate more on these definitions, but again, we're just taking notes for right now. Then we have the United States Federal Law 18 U.S. Code Section 29 1030. Okay. This chapter introduces you to the world of ethical hacking. Ethical hacking is a form of legal hacking. It is done with the permission of the organization to help increase its security. One of the primary tasks of ethical hacking is to perform a penetration test, also called a pen test. Think of the penetration test as a legal approved attack and penetration of a network device, application database, and the alike. Think of it like testing the locks on a house. So again, just like you would test locks on a house, it's the same kind of principle, guys. Nothing too complicated about that. That whole paragraph right there. So we're just going to move on from there. This chapter discussed many of the business aspects of penetration testing, how a pen test should be performed, what types can be performed, what legal requirements are, and what types of reports should be delivered. These are all basic items you need to know before you perform any types of security testing. However, first you need to review some security basics. That's right. As my mom always said, ooh, he's bringing his mommy into it. You must walk before you can run. Man, I've been running since I came out the womb. All right. This chapter starts with a discussion of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. That's the security triad. Boom! Security triad. Next, it moves on to the subject of risk analysis, and it finishes up with the history of hacking and discussion of some of the what's that word? Pedant. Man, I can't talk sometimes. I can't even sound out words. All right. Caution. Nothing in this book is intended to teach or encourage the use of security tools or methodology for legal or unethical purposes. Always act in a responsible manner. Make sure that you have written permission for the proper individuals before you use any of the tools or techniques described in this book. Always obtain permission before installing any security tools. And guys, before we move on, let's talk about that. So anything we talk about today, guys, in today's stream or any stream that continue going further, is all for educational purposes, guys. This is all for this is. We're not going to be when we're gonna get into stuff, guys, I'm not gonna suggest that you guys download any of these things. I'm not gonna tell you guys to go to any links, guys. I'm not gonna send you anywhere, guys. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to get you guys tied up into anything. I'm not trying to get you tied up into anything illegal or into a gimmick or anything like that. I'm not trying to sell you anything either. Again, everything that we're going to be doing during the stream is all for educational purposes and educational purposes only. Okay? So don't come calling me if you did something wrong. Okay? I just warned you. Let's get back into it. Okay. Now I need a sip of water. Okay. So just like in some of the awesome Cisco books, we have the Do I Know This Already quiz. Now the Do I Know This Already quiz is it's supposed to be an honest quiz about what you know right now. It's not supposed to it's supposed to just so you know if you're supposed how long you're supposed to spend on a chapter. It's not supposed to be an I gotcha or a trick or anything like that. It's just supposed to be like, okay, do you know any of this material you're about to cover? Because all the material that's in these do you know these questions already is for the most is always covered in the chapter you're about to read. And just like we're about to go through here, do I know these questions already? I probably don't because I haven't covered any of this material. This is fresh to me. It may not be fresh to you. So if you want to help tag along, guys, plug your answers in the chat. I'd be more than we'll cover them here right on the stream, guys. So you guys can do this along with me. Or if you're catching this after the stream, if you want to play along, you guys can just pause it and then you guys can play it afterwards and we'll answer the question together. Okay, for the most part. And again, I am probably going to get these all wrong. You guys are going to laugh at me and you're probably going to hammer me in the comments. It's okay. I can take it. Now let's get on with making fun of Joe. Okay, so what do we got? Caution the goal of the self-assessment. Oh, so it's just explaining what I just talked to you about. Pretty much the do I know this? The do I know this questions already. The goal of the self-assessment is to gauge your mastery of the topics in the chapter. If you do not know the answer to the question or are only partially sure of the answer, you should mark the question as wrong for the purpose of this self-assessment. Giving yourself credit for the answer you incorrectly guess, okay, skews the assessment result and might provide a false sense of security. So this is kind of what I did when I got myself prepared for the CCNA test. It was kind of like I had a false sense of security. And when I was slapped with the test, it was like, man, there was a lot of stuff I guess I just really didn't think I really needed to focus on. A lot of the stuff I knew. There was, though, a lot of the stuff that I just didn't know all that well. And that's what got me. All right. So again, it's all about making the honest answer. So that's what we're going to try our best to. All right. So what are the three main tenets of security? Let me break out my old penny pen. Again, guys, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Follow me on all my social media accounts. I'm on Minds, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, everything else. You can find me by my name, Joseph Caffarelli. There's not too many of us out there. There's only other one Joseph Caffarelli actually out there that I've ever found on the internet. And he's a sheriff of the police. But that's neither here or there. But, all right, let's get our pen. All right. So what are the three main tenets of security? Now, I think we might have just covered this. So we have confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So as we were covering in the beginning of this, and we took note of that, remember? So it was confidentiality, integrity, and here we'll do like this. So we'll say one is one. 1. Which of the following laws pertain to the accountability for public companies relating to financial information? Does it say following laws? Now, it doesn't say to pick 2, but it does say laws. Now, sometimes with these crazy questions, sometimes they want you to pick 2 questions. Though this didn't specifically say that. I'm going to go ahead and guess it is because we already talked about this because this is what we pretty much covered at the beginning of it. So we're going to go with 3 and 4. And again, I'm just taking the wild guess here that it's going to ask me for 2. I guarantee, because I've seen this before with a print to digital book where the do you know these questions already, the answer guide was in ABCD, but the questionnaire though was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So sometimes when they do I don't know why that happens, but sometimes when they do the conversion over, that changes in the export. So we'll just be aware of that, guys. That's it. So, okay. Which type of testing occurs when individuals know the entire layout of the network? So, which type of test occurs when an individual knows the entire layout of the network? Now, I don't know this at all. Okay. Now, I'm going to color this differently, and I'm going to take a guess just because this is our first time doing this. But we are going to color this differently so we know this was a Joe guess. Okay. So we make sure we don't take any credit for this at all. We're going to get this wrong no matter what. So we're going to take, so I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say, gray box, maybe, sure. We'll go with gray box. I don't know why I went with that. We'll find out why, right? Which of the following is a system to procedurally target, engage, and neutralize as an adversary? Which of the following systems? Which of the following is a system to procedurally target, engage, and neutralize? Okay, so I'm going to go with, again, I'm going to go, because I think I'm getting messed up with some of the wordage here. I'm going to guess on this, so I'm not going to give myself credit again. I'm going to go with the blue again. I'm not going to give ourselves credit. And I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say cyber kill chain on that one too. Well, not 2, but we're going to say cyber kill chain. We're saying that because that's what I believe it is because of what we read up top. But this is my guess. Which form of test occurs when insiders are not informed of penetration test? Okay. Which form of testing occurs when insiders are not informed of the penetration test? So I'm going to say blind testing. Again, yes. So can't take credit for it again. 4. How many more out of there are these? There's only 10. So we're about halfway there. Okay. How is an ethical hacker different from a regular hacker? Ethical hacker never launches exploit. Yes, they do. Ethical hacking has a signed written permission. Yeah. Nope, they don't act with malice. And they have verbal. So you're going to want written permission, not verbal. Verbal agreement is usually a soft agreement. and not a hard agreement. So we're gonna go with written. Which type of hacker is considered a good guy? So that is a gray hat, right? Is it a white hat? I believe it's a white hat. Gray hat. I've heard gray hat before for some reason. I'm gonna go with white hat. Sounds weird. I'm gonna go with gray hat. Again, it's a guess. A lot of these are guesses, which is not good on my part. The majority of these are guesses now. Wait. No, this was not, 6 was not a guess. Yeah, 6 was not a guess. All right. Which type of hacker is considered unethical? Black hat. I'll go with black hat. Scary black hat. Again, it's another guess. Let me move my pen over there so I can easily access it. If you guys are curious what pen I'm using Epic Pen, guys. It's one of the best pens I've used. Yeah, that's it. Easy peasy. Which type of hacker will carry out an attack even if the result could be very long prison term? So that, again, would be black hat, right? Or is that a suicide hacker? We'll go with suicide. Suicide. That just sounds scary. Sounds intense. Which type of hacker performs both ethical and unethical activities? Ooh. You're a gray hat, aren't you, buddy? Ooh, yeah. Okay, we're going to go gray with this one. So then this would change my... Nope. Seven to 1. See nothing coming up in the chat. Nothing's up in the chat. All right. Let's see what we're gonna give us. All right, answers. Give me my answers so I can check them real quick. Oh, you usually give them right afterwards. Oh man, it's gonna do it at the very end. I just want to double check our answers. Is it gonna wait? Yeah, it's gonna go. Let's go to the end then. No. All right, so here's chapter 1. for the do I know this already. All right. I knew it was going to do that. So we're going to change these. We can know which ones. Okay. We're going to mark these. So we got one right. We got you wrong. You are wrong. 4 right. 5 right. 6 right. 7 right. 8 right. 9 right. And 10 right. Oh, we only got 2 wrong, which is not bad. The ones. Here, we'll do this. I need a new color. Or new color. So you were A. This one was B. C. C. D. B. A. C. D. A. And the ones that the 2 that we got wrong. These 2. Okay. And so I thought I talked about the questions. Those are review questions. Okay. We won't read the review questions just yet. All right. So that's not bad. So, and we'll go back to that. And what were those 2? And so it's socks. And that one was, it'd be white boxing. Okay. All right. So I'm going to understand what that means in a minute. So which of the laws pertain to accountability for public companies related to financial information? That would be covered under SOX. We'll go over, I guess, what SOX is, and then which type of testing occurs when when individuals know the entire layout of a network, and that is white box. So there we go for that right there. So let's close out that for now, and we're going to get back into HacktheBox right now. I'm going to connect to this guy. Let me log in real quick. All right. All right, so net, just like we talked to before, you got to open up the walkthrough. When we go through, so before when we did this last week, we went through. It's going to ask you a couple questions as you proceed through. It's just going to ask you just questions, I guess, which is good because it's knowledge based. And then at the very end, it's going to ask you for a key, and that is the flag. There's the root flag that you're going to capture from the machine that we're going to subsequently hack. Okay. So let's open up our walkthrough here. All right, so we have the fawn write-up prepared by 199. Okay. Introduction. Sometimes when you are asked to emulate the services of specific host on a client network, um, we will be met with file transfer services that will have high chances to be poorly configured. The purposes of this exercise is to familiarize yourself with the FTP, the File Transfer Protocol. FTP, a native protocol to all host operating systems and used for a long time on a simple transfer task. Uh, by the automated or manual FTP can be easily misconfigured or not configured or correctly not understood. There are cases where an employee of a client company we are accessing might want to bypass file checks or firewall rules for transferring a file from themselves to their peers, considering the many different mechanisms for controlling and monitoring data flow within a enterprise network today. This scenario becomes a substantial and viable case we might be in the wild. So again, it's just giving you a scenario that you might come in the wild, and it's pretty much saying here with FTP, you could have a situation here where you could have a FTP server not correctly configured, or you could have an employee thinking, they're making their jobs more efficient by, messing around with the FTP configuration to make their job maybe easier and automated easier, but they might be messing, making some possibly exploiting, opening up some vulnerabilities. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at. At the same time, FTP can be used to transfer log files from one network device to another, or a log collection service. Suppose a network engineer is charged of handling the configurations, forgets to secure the receiving FTP server properly, or does not put enough importance on the information contained within the logs, or decides to leave the FTP server unsecured intentionally. In that case, an attacker could gain leverage of the logs and extract all kinds of information from them, which could later to be used to map out a network. Okay, um, emulate usernames, detect active services, and more. Look at what an FTP is. So here's the definition on Wikipedia. We didn't really have to open up Wikipedia, but the file transfer protocol (FTP) is a standard communication protocol used for the transfer of computer files. I think it even gives you, yeah, okay. I didn't even have to open up Wikipedia. Transfer computer files from server to client on a computer network. FTP is built on a client-server model architecture client-server model architecture. So that means client-server model architecture. I think I remember what that means. It's been a while, but have some water. It's warm in here. It's warm. All right. Clear text, single sign-in protocol generally used to connect to autonomous servers. All right, from the first lines of the expert above, we can see mention of the client-server model architecture. This refers to the role, so it's talking about that, actually, what I just brought up. So this refers to the role hosts in the networks have during the act of transferring data between themselves. Users can download and upload files from a client, okay, their own host, to the server, a centralized data storage device, or vice versa. Conceptually speaking, the client is always the host that downloads and uploads files to the server, and the server is always the host that safely stores the data being transferred. Okay, that's kind of wishy-washy in the terminology there, but there you go. Okay. Has a nice little infographic on it. Clients can also browse the available files on the service using FTP protocols from a user terminal perspective. This action seemingly looks like a browser. Their own operating system directories for the files they need. FTP service also come with a GUI, a graphical user interface. Akin to Windows OS operating system, enables easier navigation for beginners. An example of a well-known GUI operating FTP service, FileZilla. So if you guys are familiar with FileZilla, it's a pretty popular FTP application that does have a pretty nice GUI that you can use on Windows and stuff like that. So if you're trying to connect to, like, say if you have a web server on, some kind of hosting service out in the wild or something like that, you need to transfer files for your web server back and forth and stuff like that. You would use an application. I mean, you can obviously use your terminal, but you can use an application like FileZilla, so you can have a nice graphical interface and stuff like that to go about your browsing of your files and whatnot. All right. However, let's first understand what this means for the port to be running the service openly. A port running an active service is a reserved space for an IP address of a target to receive requests and send results from. If we only had IP addresses or host names, then the host could only do one task at a time. That means that if you want to browse the web and play music from the applications on your computer simultaneously, you could not, because the IP address would be used for handling either the first or the latter, but not both at the same time. By having ports, you can have one IP address handling multiple services, as it adds another layer of distinction. Man, I can't read today. But what it's pretty much saying is trash that. So where am I? So we have like our computer here. On our computer, we can have multiple ports. For our one IP address here. So say if our address is like 192.168 .1.100. You know what I'm saying? I got it pretty bad, but whatever. What we can utilize though is we can utilize every single one of these ports. Whether this be port 22, that's pretty bad, 22, Joe, or 56. So we have TCP and then UDP. That's awful. I need to erase all of this. I am bad. I'll write it this time. We could have something like UDP, TCP, ports, and we could have, port 22, 23, 56, and then you have 63, whatever, and so on and so forth. And that's how one IP address can be related to many of ports. And I believe you got like 16,000 ports available to you on any off of any just one IP address per interface or something like that. Another drink of water. Water. I'm running low on water. Somebody get me some water. Nobody loves me. Um, in this case below, we can see the FTP active on port 21. So we have an FTP active on port 21. We'll make a note of that. However, let's do some extra services. Let's add some extra services like SSH and HTTPD web service in order to explore more typical example, which this type of configuration network administration has set up a rudimentary core web server configuration along with them to achieve the following all at the same time, if need be. Receive and send files that can be used to configure the web server or server logs to an external source. Be able to log into the remote management from a distant host in case of any configuration changes are needed. Serve web content that can be accessed remotely through another web host web's browser. From the graph below, you can see the FTP sits in the logical structure of the host together with its other services that that could potentially be running on it all at the same time. So we have port 21, 22, and port 80, and obviously we have FTP, SSH, and HTTP running on port 80 here. That the client is all opened up. They're open and active. Some of them are serving, so you have a web server pretty much like serving a file to anyone. Yeah, and the same thing could be said about the other ports too, I guess, at the same time, right? Transfer data back and forth. The Wikidata shows that the considering non-standard for FTP to be used without the encryption layer provided by protocols such as SSL, TLS, FTPS, or SSH tunneling, SFTP. FTP by itself FTP by itself does have the ability to require credentials before allowing access to the stored files. However, the deficiencies here in that traffic contained in said files can be intercepted with what's known as a man-in-the-middle attack. So, very popular terminology, man-in-the-middle attack. The contents of the files can be read in plain text, meaning unencrypted and human readable. So, anytime there's a man-in-the-middle attack, anytime those files are intercepted and they're not encrypted, they are just in simple plain text. And here we have some of nice little how a successful man-in-the-middle attack could, play out, graphically wise and stuff like that. However, if the network administration chooses to route the connection into an SSL TLS protocol or tunnel the FTP connection through an SSH, as shown. So we have it. Yep, and the red is supposed to be like countering the effects of that right here. So you have port 22 SSH, and it's they're saying SSB notice layer encryption. Oh, this would successfully foil man in the middle. Notice how the port 21 has disappeared, and as the FTP protocol gets moved onto the SSH protocol or port 22 root address, being tunneled through it and secured against its problems, pretty much for the most part. And here we go right here. So then you have the configuration where you now have FTP being tunneled through SSH under port 22, while SSH is still can still be remotely accessed through that port as well, but you can also now send and receive files through that layer of security as well here. So we have that. Okay. Moving on here. I don't see nothing in the chat. However, the situation we're dealing with in this case, is much simpler. We're going to interact with the target, run a simple misconfigured FTP service. Let us proceed and analyze how such a service running on an internal host could look. All right, so the immemorialization. Man, I gotta get that word down. Such big words. I got such little brain, and these are such big words. First, let's check our. Okay. Let's connect open. Let's get our cloud. And I got our cloud box opened up here. It's a nice little cloud image too. This should open up pretty quickly too, guys. Doesn't take too long to open up. So now we have, so this right here, we'll get over to that here in a second here. So we have our, let's, you know what I can do is I can do this. So that started up. It's good. Now let's spawn the machine now. I'll open this up. All right, so that's the instances, or it's just one instance here, I believe, is booting up right now. But what we have here is we have our cloud. We have our cloud. This is our cloud box. I'll call it cloud box, pwn box. I think they call it own box, pwn box, pawn box, whatever you want to call it. But what it essentially is you can do this another way. HacktheBox gives you another options where you can download your own. You download your own image, set it up on whatever virtualizing service you use, virtual machine, ESXi, whatever have you, and then hook up, and then just establish a VPN to their service. So then you could hook up to their instance here. So now we have this instance here, which we should be in the same network as this instance, because once this instance boots up, it boots up in the same network. So it established the same VPN connection. So whatever it needs us to do, whatever it wants us to crack, we have access to that box, and I'll show you that. So we have, let's copy that IP real quick. We'll ping. I didn't copy very well. 1029 114. Easy enough. and 129, 114. All right. So yeah, so that's just demonstrating that we have connectivity to the victim machine, victim box, you want to call it. Okay. So we know it's there and it's connected. We're all good. So what does the three-letter acronym stand for FTP? So we have file, file, for tonight. Protocol. Again, if I could. It's gonna say, hey, you got that. Okay. So we got one flag. All right. What communication model does FTP use? Architecturally speaking. So architecturally, so it's client server model. Okay, got that one right. What is the name of one popular GUI FTP program? So it's FileZilla. File. How do you spell it? FileZilla. That's how you spell it. Two. FileZilla. All right, we're moving right down with our flags here. All right, how many flags we got? Just a couple flags. All right, what is the port? What is the port? What is the FTP? TCP, TCP. 21 TCP. What acronym is used for the secure? So you have SFTP. What is the command we can use to test our... Ooh, we know that one. That's the almighty ping, baby. Right. What's up, Anthony? Ooh, it's not my birthday just yet, brother. But it almost is. It is almost my birthday. Let me see. 19th. We have 3 more days to my birthday. And my birthday is a Earth Day, baby. But good looking out. How you doing today, bro? How you doing today, brother? Good to see you, man. Thank you for joining the stream. I appreciate it. What from your scans? What version is FTP running on your target? Okay, so now we have to let's do some reading here. What you up tonight, too, dude? I'm just doing some late night streaming, doing some hacking. All right, so we've established connectivity, so we already got that. Ping and everything else. So scanning using our previous command, we can see that FTP services running on port 21. However, Control C. All right, so let's do an mmap on that one now. Scan it real quick. All right, so we just did an mmap. So that's the command for mmap is nmap. Okay, nmap. And I need to learn. Trust me, there's a lot I need to learn about mmap. What I get from my initial understanding of what mmap does is it scans a host of possible open ports and stuff like that that the host target could have. So we have here what nmap is getting back from us here. So from our target, nmap scan reports for 1020, 129, 114. Host is up, okay, not shown, yada yada yada. Port state service, so we have port 21, TCP open FTP, okay, so pretty good there. So let's go back here. Premier scans what version of FTP? So what version of FTP? Okay. So we need to learn more about the mmap command here, which we're doing right now. All right, so we did the mmap. We got back some of the initial. All right. In our case, okay, so now this is where we're going to take that deeper dive. So in our case, the is it something? I mean, hold on. I want to sound like a doofus. I always do, though. I have foot to mouth disease. Oh, argument. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Argument. So we have the command mmap, so nmap map. Then we have our argument, which our argument is going to be dash lowercase s uppercase v. And in our case, we're going to be using the dash lowercase s uppercase v switch. The switch stands for the version detection. Switch stands for version detection. So this argument stands for version. Switch stands for version detection. Okay, using the switch, we consistently make our scans take longer, but will offer us more insight. So that's what the initial under the lowercase s is for the switch. All right, and then I'm guessing the V is for the version. The uppercase V is for the version detection. We can do a just so we can do a and that help. Okay, and we could take a look. All right, so we have it right here under service inversion detection here. Okay, we have the dash lowercase s uppercase v. Probe opens ports to determine service version info. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Okay, all right. So we do the mmap dash sv on our target host again. Okay, just take a little bit longer. Well, get back real quick. So the version we're looking for is VSFTPD 3.03. I don't think it's going to let me copy. I don't think it likes copy pasty. There it goes. Okay. All right. From our scans, what OS type is running on our target? All right. Now, is the operating system. So we have Unix. Okay, now we need to get our flag. All right. Okay. How are we looking, everybody? Don't see much going on in the chat. All right. We will not be looking at exploits. The service per whatever. We will take small steps towards our goal. In the next one, we will involve simple interacting with these services as in to learn more about how we should approach targets. However, having the service version always helps us gain more insight into running on the scan port. Okay. Forward, it's time we interact with the target. In order to access the FTP service, we will use the FTP command on our own host. It's a good practice to have a quick check that the FTP is up to date, installed properly. Run the command below. We'll display some of the output as pictured if your FTP service is installed. Otherwise, continues the installation -y. We won't have to worry about all that happy stuff. Okay. All right. We're going to log into the host here. Okay. So from the extra, I'll probably ask you for the username. We want to log in with here is where the magic happens. The typical misconfiguration. The right FTP service allows an anonymous account to access the services like any other authenticated users. The anonymous user username can be input when the prompt appears, followed by any password whatsoever, which of the services will disregard the password for a specific account. Hitting enter after filling in the password, we can see that our log is successfully. Our terminal changes in order to show the FTP command. All right. All right. So let's log into our host. We have FTP 10.129. 114. And we're going to be using anonymous. Password. Okay, ls. And then here is our flag right here, guys. Okay, so if we do a ls flag. Okay, let's do help. All right. CD, ls, yep, it's there. So we're gonna open up. All right, so we're gonna steal it. Okay. It's there, right? Yeah. And there it is. There's our flag. Let's copy that. Paste that there. All right. All right. So Thundermitten gets the box, baby. Oh yeah. All right. So that's pretty good. That was pretty fun. This is S&P, SMB. Oh, we got some fun ones. We got some fun ones. All right, so that's. Yeah. East. Okay. Okay. That's what we got for tonight, guys. All right, guys. That's going to be it for tonight. Make sure you guys continue to like, share, follow me on all of these social media platforms that I'm on. Follow me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Minds, you name it. I am most likely on it, guys. We're running down to the wire, guys. I need all you guys' support out there. We're making a real big push now to make this, to make this platform successful. And I just need you guys there to pretty much just press the subscribe button for me. So that's it, guys. Until next time, I'll see you then, and be safe, guys. Be good, everybody. Mwah.